Hi everyone, this is Sunette, and in this video we're continuing with our practical process of who we are in relation to mistakes. And this is also a beautiful example of where shaping a healthy self-style can come in hand. Now, shaping a healthy self-style, we have to look at what healthy self-style we can shape, create, and manifest for and as ourselves when it comes to facing mistakes. And it's essentially one thing I really, an example I love using for those of you who have watched Harry Potter. There's this one scene in one of the movies where they've got this, let's call it entity. And what it basically does is the moment it comes out of this chest, okay, it represents and will become your greatest fear, all right? And basically what gets taught to the children in the story is that, okay, you've got to learn how to beat, essentially, this particular entity is to imagine dressing it in something ridiculously funny. Make it hilarious. So the moment your greatest fear comes up right in front of you, dress it up. So there's like this one where a spider would come out, and then how he made it funny was to put roller skates onto each of the spider's legs. Another one was something ridiculous that was coming out, and then he dressed it up as a clown. And it was extraordinary to see how from their greatest fear it becomes their greatest source of laughter. So it's the same with mistakes, I find. For me, mistakes feels like that. It's like this thing that jumps out at me like a jack in the box in a moment. Not necessarily saying that's my greatest fear, but it's like this thing that just really, bam, knocks me down. It's like when you see those tackles in sport where this beast of a guy will tackle another one and you just see him go flat on the ground. It just knocks me down straight. It's like, well, I didn't even have a chance here. So now, what healthy self-style can we shape for ourselves and for others when it comes to healing who we are in our relationship with mistakes in those moments where we go from just being knocked down or kind of, accepting and allowing that state of absolute disdain and emotional distraught when we make mistakes, which is something that fear itself can also do to us. We start strengthening ourselves, we start building our character. We start becoming more determined in our directive principle to be more attentive to the thoughts and experiences that come up inside of us whenever we face things, yes, going wrong, making mistakes, seeing a weakness, something that needs mending or amendment, or just some tweaks here and there instead of seeing it as a massive end of the world. Now, I would like this video to inspire you to go out there and find ways, techniques, and methods that work for you. I mean, in all the years and everything that I have done, there's one constant that I found. I share a basic example of things that's worked for me, things that I've tried and tested out. And sometimes I just love it when people say, you know what, I tried your way, it didn't kind of work for me, but it inspired me to develop and from there be a stepping stone to creating my own way. And that's exactly the purpose of the Self and Living video, Shaping a Healthy Self-Style. It is a platform, a stepping stone that you can use. Try out the ways that I do. Or maybe while you're listening to the video, you're going, yeah, that sounds cool, but I've actually got this idea, so I'm going to try that out. And then when you find it works for you, do a quick video or a write-up or share it with people. Go out there and say, hey, this is how I've shaped my style in relation to facing mistakes and what's worked for me. Because who knows, maybe your way will work for others. Maybe it'll inspire others to find their own way. But one thing that has been of utmost importance to me is knowing that I wouldn't be where I am or who I am today if it weren't for others. If it weren't for others who were my stepping stones. We need each other. We cannot do this process and this journey of change, transformation, and being inspired and how to do it alone. So the ways that's worked for me that I'll share with you is, but I find still that's sometimes challenging and not 100% guaranteed, where once I make a mistake or, feel like I am again transitioning into that everything's wrong and everything's bad and everything's upside down and the world is going to end, the sky is falling, that I have that kind of red light that goes off inside myself, signal, like an alarm, and saying to me, oh, you have gone way too far here. What is the redefined statement of who you are in relation to the word mistake? What I mean by redefined statement, how do I want to change who I am in relation to mistakes? Take the situation at full force and take charge of me in my relationship with mistakes instead of it taking charge and control of who I am in moments. And knowing that it's gone too far, reminding myself of, hey, you're learning something. Find what it is that you're learning. Find what it is that you're learning. It's like sometimes I wish I could have this alarm going off inside my head. Every time I make a mistake, it says, no, it's not a mistake. Find what you need to learn here. There's something to learn. It's like a little treasure hunt we can go on inside of ourselves when it comes to mistakes. So then what I find fun for me is to sit down, write down the mistake, and ask myself, okay, how can we change this? And with changing it, with finding a solution, with resolving this, what is in it for me to learn? Most of the time, in making mistakes and finding solutions, obviously it does come with some forgiveness and being able to forgive myself. Again, that's what's worked for me. Other methods or techniques might work for you in terms of how to deal with any emotional experiences or burdens within yourself that you might carry. It's just to release them for a moment, to let them go, to drop them, to have more clarity in being able to see a change, a solution, as something that can be done with what's happened. But most of the time, you will not believe that I made a mistake, everything has fallen apart, and the world is turned upside down, and then when I come to that mistake, it was never a mistake in the first place, like at all. I just immediately thought that, what happened was a mistake, massive problem. Big things were happening. When all the while, it was really just a tweak that was needed. Nothing was wrong, nothing was bad, no mistake, no problem, no issue at all. I just went into a massive reaction in this head of mine. So see how that process or practical support may assist and support you. Look out for the warning signs. That also initially helped me when I started with this process, the warning signs that I've gone into a flat spin with, making a mistake where, I feel like everything in my world is wrong and bad and upside down, and I just don't feel synchronized in my life, and I'm in more stress and panic. That usually is my warning signs of, you need to slow down. Where have you fallen here? And then I trace back, okay, where did things change? And it usually happens where I've interpreted something wrong, bad, mistakes, things like that. When I take myself back to that moment, sit in front of me, forgive myself, work through and process the emotions and the experiences that I've allowed for some time, get myself, clear my mind, clear my thoughts, clear me, and sit in front of that mistake. And maybe the first question you should ask yourself is, well, is this a mistake? Is there really something wrong? Is this really something bad? Before you try and work through a mistake and try and find a solution for something that doesn't even really exist. All right, so everyone, give yourselves, your minds, your emotions a break, and find your way of shaping a healthy self-style when it comes to mistakes. Transform them to learning curves. Reprogram the word mistake to learning curves, learning curves, learning curves. All right, everyone, leave you with those words. Thank you very much. See you in videos to come.